loves doing, of course, which is fuel car racing, and just guiding Jim up to the line. It's all systems go for Jim here. Let's see how he gets on with this run. Still, as Steve was saying, learning about funny cars, etc. So really lighting the cars up there, pushing it up again. And one of his him put his foot down again as he goes. Noting the handling characteristics up at the top end. But that's a good pass there from learner Jim Whelan. And let's have a look at the time and speed. It won't be anything too extraordinary, but at least Jim's out there and he's learning.
Well, I tell you what, a couple of dabs on the throttle there away from the start line only netted him a 10.28 run, but I really thought he did nail it up at three-quarter track, and he did. 150 miles an hour for Jim Williams. That's the quickest he's gone in that car, so that learning curve is getting slightly short. John Spuffard, a fine burnout from him, and I must say straight away that thanks to the crew, they come up and they said a three-quarter pass only from this car. Wretched lunch. Saw that oil line come off on Saturday, and it's really laid a lot of oil down, and a problem for John yesterday that he managed to cure. Now hopefully going to get back into the groove. They sorted that problem of popping the blowers all the time, and I really do look to John Spuffard to start and get back into his winning way.
Oh yes, let's hope so. Olsenville forensic and bodywork on here, and John, as you quite rightly say, Steve, nice couple of burnouts now from John Spuffard. Still a man very much learning, and that looks as though that's going to be it. He's continued on from the burnout and straight up the top there, so I know we were looking for a three-quarter charge there from the start line for John, but certainly that looked a lot better.
Certainly did. That car sounded very strong on both those burnouts. I really went round in the corner with the problems on the blower and some other things, and I looked for great things from John Spuffard too.
Well, he has run a 6:30 in a funny car. 7-second runner looking for a 6. And an 8-second runner looking to get back into the 7th. That's what we've got here at the moment, because just coming out into the left-hand lane, we've got Phil Brackvogel on the quarter scorcher, starting the rolling burnout and going side by side with Rod Pallant. Rod Pallant out there in the right-hand lane. Well, Phil Brackvogel qualified right down amongst the low 7th. 7.14 was his qualifying time. Now Rod Pallant in the right-hand lane had qualified with an 8.18. Well, Rod can of course run in the 7th.
Run in the 7th. I was talking to Rod last night. He was very pleased with that run. 180 miles an hour, I think. 183, I think he ran. But he was very pleased and looking to run a lot more today.
Well,
and I'm going to give Phil Brackvogel a very good chase up that quarter mile. I'm not going to let him get away from me.
Well, of course, it's, as I keep saying about Phil Brackvogel, it's very much a family affair. Brother Frank out the front there, and I noticed when Phil just chirped the motor up to the start line, Frank just gave him a big grin and a thumbs up, so it would sound as though the bike is running on great form. So Rod Pallant's going to have his work cut out here as they move into the station. But let's have a look at the time and speed for Phil Brackvogel.
Well, we wait for those times and speeds to come through from our computer. And the Brackvogels. Let me give you this one first. Winning time 7.17, 193.7 miles an hour. Give Frank and Alex a round of applause. They worked so hard on that bike. Rod Pallant losing out 10.09, 85 miles an hour. It's a problem for Rod Pallant, but Phil Brackvogel missed the consistency once again.
Oh, wonderful stuff, and from all of us up here, we're right behind you. We were hoping that we will be seeing a 6-second pass this weekend, and it's there all the time, isn't it? Like they say, it's on the tip of my tongue.
pair out there now. There's Mark Pemble over in the spectator lane and Phil Bainbridge. Well, let's just have a look at their qualifying times. Phil Bainbridge 7.49, well into 7.44, so I'm matched indeed.
Oh, well, Mark Pemble out there in the right-hand lane, that's the red and white machine. 1589cc of nitro burning motorcycle engine. It's a Puma, Power Sports Puma, sponsored by Salmon Power Sports and GSC Engineering. That's Mark Pemble from Wimborne in Dorset. Phil Bainbridge in the left-hand lane, sponsored by John Prosser Transport, Goodrich UK, and Dave Burt Engineering. And he's on another Puma machine, based on a Kawasaki 1325cc, but their qualifying time's so close. Mark Pemble over there in the right-hand lane qualified with a 744, Bainbridge with a 749, 500th of a second. Well, this is another one of those races that can be won and lost on the start line. So which one of these two is going to go into the final to meet Phil Brackvogel? Here we go, moving them up into the stage. It means Bainbridge in the left-hand lane from Cheltenham, Mark Pemble in the right-hand lane from Wimborne in Dorset as they hit the stage.
But Mark Pemble it is that takes that win line. We wait for the times of speed. Mark really was on a charge there. Phil was fighting the fight all the way up the quarter mile.
Oh, superb racing, absolutely superb. That's what top fuel bike racing is all about. And I think we should just about be ready to get our times and speeds coming through.
Well, for Mark Pemble, 7.44, but I'll give you this terminal speed, 180.8 miles an hour, so really is charging. I'm going to confirm Phil Bainbridge's, I'm not too sure on that one at the moment. Jackie, just going up to check that. We'll give you his time and speed very shortly.
Okay, well we move back on to street cars, and we're just getting our running list together properly in the control tower here. Two old boys flapping amongst all the paperwork. But American Heartbeat closest to the main grandstand. That's Steve Dodds in the Mustang running in the 1290 class, as is Grumpy's Toy. That's Paul Watson over there in the right-hand lane, the Ford Pop. Now let's have a quick look at their qualifying time for these two. We can just find them.
Well, both these cars can run under that 1290 index. We've seen it. Steve Dodds, I think, has been round quite low, 12.50, so he's going to have to be careful. Paul Watson, he's run 12.8, so he's only just under that index. Now let me explain what we're talking about. 1290, quicker than that, they're out of competition. They may take the win line. 12.9. Out of competition. So at the moment, it's Steve Dodd that takes the win line.
And I don't think there should be any problems there. I think there should be A-OK with that one. So let's have a quick look. Steve Dodd's time coming through. I would imagine it's going to be somewhere around about the 13-second bracket.
It's even closer than that, John. Both of those guys have run 12.90. But
God.
Steve Dodds it is that takes the win with 12.90, 99.5 miles an hour. Lose out for Paul Watson, 12.90 at 99.7.
Wow.
So that whole shot from Steve Dodds did him well and saw him into the
I
final.
don't think I've ever seen anything quite like that
Tremendous.
before, Steve. Marino Molinari in the left-hand lane now in that Aero Little Cluster. Both of these guys running in the 1290 class once more. The idea is you can hold it up for a moment, get to the top and I think Marino Molinari might have held back just a little bit too much there, because Pete Lane sneaked through at the top end. Steve, it's back to you for times and speeds once more. Don't forget, if they run quicker than 1290, then they're out.
Oh, Marino Molinari well off that 1290 index. They may have had problems. 13.76, he ran at 80 miles an hour. We're just waiting for the time at the moment, but I reckon that Pete Lane's going to be okay on that one. We will check and give you that time just as soon as we get it.
Okay, we move back on to two wheels, and this is our Sportsman bikes, SP22 and SP27. This is, again, a class of racing where they can go as quick as they like, providing they don't go any quicker than 10.90. And SP27, that's Paul Mays in the right-hand lane on his one-off Yamaha 1200. And SP22 in the left-hand lane is Dan Avenel on the Suzuki. So pick your bikes, ladies and gentlemen. Yamaha right-hand lane, Suzuki left-hand lane, and there. Looks up the front wheel, does a wheelie, he's looking for the red light on the tree. So it's Paul May. Take the win in that right-hand lane. You see the win arrow coming on. That wouldn't come on if the red light hadn't come on in that left-hand lane. So let's have a look at the winning time for the right-hand lane.
Well, Paul May's must have seen that red light very sensibly. Took it fairly steady there. 11.47, 115 miles an hour. He moves into the final. This is a man that was our quickest rider out there in Sportsman. That's Jeff Drage, of course.
Yep.
And he just has to put in a solo run to meet Paul May in the final.
Well, yeah, one or two of our other Sportsman bike riders, Mark Patton and Dave Fred, had to move up into street bike because they were running so quickly. There is this 1090 cut-off, and Jeff Drage just ran above the index, 11.09 during qualifying. So all he's got to do is get to the other end, and he is into the final against Paul May. So let's have a quick look. Yeah, he's okay. Completes the quarter mile and really cruising. So a sensible man, nothing wrong in doing that. Saving the engine as we move on. Have we got a time and speed for him, Steve?
No, not at the moment. Unfortunately, one of our computer screens not functioning this weekend, so we have a manual computer. It's working very well.
Okay, so back to four wheels again, and this is streetcar once more, and that's the current champion, closest to the main grandstand, John Evans, with his co-driving partner Steve Dunn walking alongside the car there. They share the driving in this machine. Martin Grove is out there in the right-hand lane in the little Chevrolet Monza. This is the 1190 streetcar class, and exactly the same rules apply. They can go as quick as they like, get to the top end first, provided they don't go any quicker than 11.90. So it's John Evans, small block at full power in this little Celica. Oh, it's small block Chevrolet, I'm sorry.
I never realised it before, but that's funny.
Well, Martin Grove is the man who gets to the top end first, but of course what we've got to look is that he doesn't break out of that 11.90 index. So let's just have a quick look. And he goes through, and it's a 12-second run, 12.26. That's for our lose-out, John Evans, in the left-hand lane. So we don't know. We're going to have to check on that. We're missing some of the details as they're coming through on the computer here. As our next person gets ready to run. It's a solo run for Paul Mitchell. Just firing up. And Steve, over to you.
Sorry about that, John. I've just got the time for Martin Grove, and he's running right on the index, 11.96, 105 miles an hour. So he goes through to meet Paul Mitchell. All Paul has to do is really just cruise up the quarter mile. There's no need to prove anything, but he really does seem to be doing a couple of half burnouts in practice launches, which is very characteristic of Paul. He really does try very, very hard in that car.
Well, it's a Buick GS, 455 cubic inches. Let's make sure he hasn't broken out on a buy run. I think he should be okay.
Certainly, a 12.10 at 109 miles an hour.
Oh, that's a good time run there for Paul Mitchell. Set him up well in the elimination when he gets ready to come out against Martin Grove in the final.
Right, yeah. Okay, we move on now with street bike. That's a sort of a middle class of our street. We have Street Sportsman. This is street. We've got Mark Fossey out there in the pit lane. He's running SS49, of course, Guy Chamberlain. Well, Guy in the round before put out Ray Debon, and Mark Fossey put out Dave Friend, Sportsman.
Well, Guy Chamberlain is from the Isle of Sheppey as well, so he'll be looking to shut down Mark Fossey just to get a little bit back for Dave Friend, because Dave Friend is from Ireland Racing, of course, and GSX 1100E is the Guy Chamberlain's machine out there in the right-hand lane. Mark Fossey on the GSX Suzuki. In the right-hand lane, and Guy Chamberlain, who's going to get into the top end first, it is Mark Fossey. He marches forward into the next round, and he's going to meet the winner of the next pair that